over rising utility bills, and now some local officials are getting involved. West Springfield Mayor Will Reichelt has submitted a resolution to the town council to request an investigation into Eversource rate increases. Western Mass News reporter Reagan Lockery has more from a city councilor as well as Eversource following this development.
West Springfield Mayor Will Reichelt is calling on both the Massachusetts State Legislature and the state's Department of Public Utilities for a comprehensive investigation into the recent gas and electric rate hikes.
And West Springfield City Council Vice President Brian Clune tells Western Mass News he's backing the mayor's decision.
We live in a time when everything's high, and now we're seeing these high prices on utilities, and it's just another thing that people have to deal with and have on their plate. So I certainly support any mitigating efforts that the mayor is going to make.
The mayor is saying this resolution is in response to mounting concern from West Springfield residents. His resolution also urges consideration of possible relief measures or rate adjustments for those most affected. We asked Councilman Clune what exactly a resolution means.
A resolution is simply, it is what it is. It's a resolution. It's a statement saying that we want you to do this. Whether they take it up is entirely up to them.
But Clune believes if more cities and towns come forward, it could help bring this further and hopefully land on Governor Maura Healey's desk. And Thursday, we're already seeing this resolution gain traction as State Representative Orlando Ramos follows suit, also calling on an investigation by the DPU. Representative Ramos writing in a statement in part, "I believe that the increase people are seeing may be a result of an unauthorized rate increase." Ramos' statement goes on to say Eversource is not done raising prices on their customers. He says that in his communications with the DPU, he was told that Eversource was recently approved for an additional 12% increase to the supply portion of the bills. Western Mass News did reach out to Eversource for comment, and they tell us in part, the electric rates have not increased. In fact, when considering all recent rate changes in totality, total electric rates have decreased by 3% since the end of last year. Usage, however, is up. January electric usage in Mass was 19% higher than December and 39% higher than November. Reporting for Western Mass News, I'm Reagan Lockery.
February is